Yo, 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 fans of the sport. What up, what up, what up? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? This is Lamech with Selah SportsTV coming at you with another one. We got a big fight this weekend, Saturday night. Big fight, right? Big fight, right? Terence Crawford versus Showtime Shawn Porter. They saying it's a big one. Right? What do I think? Well, I'm here for the fight. I want to see the fight. I mean, I'm excited, but you know, I get excited about a lot of fights. So I'm here for it. Like Terence Crawford, I have him as my pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. I think he brings many nuances. But let's just talk about the fight real quick. I think this is a big fight in name only. Let me tell you what I mean by that. You got two different stables. That kind of adds to this being kind of a big fight, even though we watched Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight 3 times. Like Errol Spence made it like it was some taboo thing for guys to cross the street, right? Like he tried to make that a new thing because he didn't want to fight Terence Crawford. But now we have 2 welterweights that are fighting, Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter. So the streets, that was a myth the whole time, okay? That myth, that was a myth. That crossed the street shit. That's the first thing. Let's talk about the different stables though. From what I see, PBC fighters are they're exceptional at promoting themselves. They're good at getting their name out there, right? Getting on camera and being seen, being talked about. Their social media presence is usually top notch. Okay, they have a way of staying in people's mouths. You know, people talk about them because they're out there a lot. They show themselves a lot. You know, that's what they do, and there's a lot to that. I mean, kind of Mayweather is kind of, you know, the model. He's the model that they follow after, you know. And Mayweather was all about getting out there and, you know, being in people's faces. Okay, so I get it. You know, Mayweather is Mayweather. Like, I don't think we'll ever see another guy like that, but possibly, you know. But that's what when I think of PBC, I think of guys, you know, they look usually a little bit more charismatic. You know, they have a lot to say, you know, and they know what people like. People like that type of shit, right? Let's flip it to the other staple. Top rank fighters, from what I see, they seem to be more focused on what's going on inside the squared circle, right? They're more focused on the craft of fighting, of boxing, becoming the best fighters that they can be. They kind of let the promotion stuff go to the wayside. I mean, they do have a promotional company, which is Top Rank. You know, they fight on the biggest platform, the biggest sports platform in the world, ESPN. So they don't do a lot of that. They kind of let the promotional company promote, and wherever the chips may lay, that's what they're okay with it. But what they are focused on is fighting, becoming better fighters, focusing on their legacy. They like to collect belts. They like to move up through weight classes and, you know, really prove themselves as boxers. So there's a clash there. Now, you know, with Tyson Fury, you can kind of throw everything out the window because Tyson Fury's kind of a wild card. He's very good at, you know, promoting and speaking and all that stuff, you know. Let's talk about these fighters, though, because one thing that I am tired of hearing, especially in regards to Bud Crawford, Bud, his interviews are so boring. Like, he bores me when he talks. He needs to do more to promote himself. Bud Crawford, he needs to just say more. He needs to come out and, you know, tell jokes and be funny or be charismatic. I'm tired of that shit, man. I really am. And it's like, here's why. Like, why is Bud Crawford being asked to put on a fucking monkey suit? Why is he being asked to entertain you in ways that don't like, he's already an entertainer in the form of boxing. Like, we watch boxing for entertainment. You know that. You realize that, right? That's what he does to entertain us. He puts his life on the line fighting to entertain us. But that's not enough for some of you. Not all of you, some of you. Some of you need him to put a monkey suit on, a fucking clown suit, do a little dance, and entertain you in that way too. And I think that's disgusting. You know, it might not be a big deal to you, it is to me. I don't like that shit. Like, Bud Crawford lives a fighter's lifestyle. He's not a fucking comedian. He's not a dancer. He's not a rapper. He doesn't need to cut a rap album. He doesn't need to dress like a rapper. He doesn't need to, like, he's a fighter. He gets paid to knock people's heads off. And he's pretty good at his job. Like, he's pretty good at it. Right? He rarely lets us down. You don't see him out there drunk, high, like partying, woo, dancing like all up on other rappers, dancing. Like, you don't see him doing that. He's a man. He lives a fighter's lifestyle. And here's the thing. Why don't we, I never hear you like saying, well, Josh Taylor needs to do more to promote himself. Lomachenko needs to do more to promote himself. Inouye needs to do more to promote himself. Better Beeve and Bivol, they need to do more and be more entertaining for us. I never hear that about them. I never hear that about them. But when it comes to, now none of these guys are two-time undisputed champions in 3 weight classes. None of those guys I named have that resume. But you want Bud Crawford, as accomplished as he is, to entertain you like a fucking clown? Fuck. Y'all are sick, man. And to me, the worst part about that is that it's black people saying this shit. I don't see other races saying Bud Crawford needs to entertain me. He needs to be more of a rapper, or he needs to, because we would instantly pick up on that and be like, wait, say what, motherfucker? Like, whoa. We would pick up on that if it was another race. If it was another race doing that shit, we would pick up on it. But you never smell your own bullshit. Black people are the worst for other black people. That's a fact. Black people treat each other the worst. Black people, we're our own oppressors. And this is to a much lesser extent, because Bud Crawford is probably the highest paid welterweight. He has a guaranteed amount that he gets for every fight. Like, no, he's not a big pay-per-view star and all that. His shit is guaranteed. He doesn't depend on pay-per-view, pay-per-view numbers. And good for him, because these guys don't want to fight him. So if he was dependent on that, he wouldn't make his money. Smart move by Bud Crawford in doing that, getting that in his contract. But that's not enough for y'all. Y'all want him to entertain you and be like some type of clown and put on a Adrian Broner impression. Now, don't get me wrong, Adrian Broner, I'm not gonna shit on Adrian Broner, because as a promoter of himself, he's top notch. He makes you interested. Now, I don't think it's all for the right reasons, him being a fighter. I think it stops once he gets in the ring. The magic is gone. He goes out there and gets his ass whipped, usually. That ain't Bud Crawford. He's going out there and winning fights in dominant fashion, usually. Like, the fuck, man? That, you know what that's like? That's like these hoes. You got these hoes out here, and you brothers, you know what I'm talking about. You've been on dates, and or maybe not a date. It might be your girl. Shit. But you've been on, it might be your girlfriend. You might have been with her for a minute. But you've definitely been on dates where the girl, you sitting down and you guys might be eating or whatever, just talking or whatever, and she says, oh, you're so serious. Right? You're such a serious person. That that is for you to catch on, right? To catch on to what she's saying and start acting like a fucking clown. So that she can loosen up and not respect you. That's all she wants to do, is find a reason not to respect you. And a lot of y'all fall for that dumb shit. Like, soon as a bitch say, oh, you're so serious, then you instantly grab the monkey suit. No, I ain't. See, look at me, baby. Look, I have fun. Look, telling weak jokes and shit. You off your square like that. Boom. Nah, that ain't it, bruh. And don't get me wrong, you can't be on dates like sitting there like a robot. Like, not. Like, yeah, of course. And any woman that knows me knows I can cut up. Oh, I can cut up. But overall, I'm a serious guy. And if that ain't for you, it just ain't for you. That's all. That's okay. And so, like, me not being for you is okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. Because what that does is get you the fuck out my face and have me around the person where I can just be myself and not have to worry about entertaining nobody. Because I'm already entertaining. If you want to clown, you got to go somewhere else. But I say all that to say, a lot of you dudes, you're acting like that. You're the woman in the situation, saying he's just not entertaining. I hate to be disrespectful. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's what you're doing. When you really should be looking at this guy like a fucking fighter. That's how you should be viewing him. Not all that dumb shit. What the fuck you care if he's a big star or not? Like, do you get a cut? Why do you care about his star power? Why do you care about that? That does nothing for your bottom line. Nothing. What you should care about as a boxer, if you're a fan of the sport, is what he's doing, how he performs in the ring. Now, I don't mean any disrespect to any women on here, okay? I don't. And I know I use certain words, whatever. Look, it's definitely not coming from a disrespectful place. Like, I get it. Women need a little bit more. You want to be entertained. That's fine. That's fine. I'm talking to you dudes. Because on the flip side, I don't even see the women saying that he needs to do this and talking about fighters. I don't see them doing that. It be you dudes doing that shit. It be you dudes doing that shit. Like, let's get back to the fight. Top rank in terms of boxers, Top Rank just has a superior product to PBC, okay? For the reasons that I laid out. Fighters fight, promoters promote. Over there on that side, fighters work on fighting, perfecting their craft and fighting. Promoters promote the fighters. And as a result, they usually come out on top when they face each other. And the top ranked guys usually achieve a little bit more. Look, you got Josh Taylor over there, you got Inouye, fucking Terence Crawford, Tyson Fury. Like, these guys are fighters, right? On the flip side, who's the biggest star on PBC? Tank Davis. Look at how his career is being handled. Look at the things Leonard Ellaby says out of his fucking mouth about it. Oh, this guy, that guy, oh, he could be the best fighter. Teofimo, oh yeah, He could be the best fighter. Tank is a bigger star. Like, I'm not going to... If that ain't the most LGBT shit that I ever heard, like, that's good enough for you? Why do you care about him being a star? So y'all not even interested in seeing him fight good fights. You just want... Bruh, that ain't for me. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And it's for all those reasons that Bud Crawford will break down and stop Shawn Porter in this fight. Now, is Shawn Porter is he one of those guys that's like, you know, is he like a clown? No, he's not a clown. But he is very focused on his media presence. He is. The one thing Shawn Porter has going for him is his father's like his trainer. His father's right there. You know, Kenny Porter's right there, kind of in his ear. His father is a major part. His father's the guy in that camp. When you want to talk to Shawn Porter, you're going to talk to Kenny Porter. You know? And I love that. I love that about him. But this is levels, okay? Like, this is levels. This ain't no step up for Bud Crawford. This is a big step up for Shawn Porter, though. Because this is not a PBC fighter that he's fighting. This ain't no Errol Spence. This ain't a guy that doesn't live the lifestyle. It's not. Like, people will say, like, all right, let's talk about the resume a little bit. Like, because I think a lot gets lost. Jeff Horn, see, people say, oh, Jeff Horn, he's a bum. Jeff Horn, listen, that Jeff Horn from back then, when Crawford fought him, and Jeff Horn that beat Pacquiao, will beat a lot of these guys. Jeff Horn people talk about Porter being physical and rough. Jeff Horn he was way more physical. Look at that Pacquiao fight. Jeff Horn is rough, dude. And look how Crawford handled that. Look how Crawford handled that guy. A bigger guy. Bigger than Crawford. Way bigger than Shawn Porter. Okay? Like, Crawford, a lot of people picked him to lose that fight. This is levels. Shawn Porter's getting stopped Saturday night, okay? All that running in, all that football running in like a running back with your hands down and shit. Hand down, man down this weekend. Hand down, man down this weekend. Like, Crawford will catch him coming in so many times. He's going to catch him coming in a lot. Like, if it's one thing Crawford has, is his timing. His timing is excellent. Look at how he got Jose Benavidez out of there. That was a tough fight. Right? But he will eventually time you. He will time you. The main thing for Crawford is, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but the main thing for him is so many ways that he could beat a Shawn Porter. He's a switch hitter. Crawford is, for one. He can go southpaw or orthodox. That's a problem. He can box him from the outside like he did Victor Postal, or he can get on the front foot like he did Mean Machine. Especially with Shawn Porter, knowing that he doesn't have any power. He doesn't have anything to respect. I think Crawford's going to push him back. Why? Because people keep saying, oh, Porter's tough and Porter's going to push Crawford back. Crawford's a very mean guy. Like, if he hears that too many times, he's going to blow that whole narrative up. And he's going to push Porter back. He's going to do that. That's what I see. I see him pushing him back, getting on his front foot, taking one to give two. And he's just a nasty guy like that. You know, I'm not going to drag this out. Because honestly, like, I'm not going to make this all like suspenseful, like, ooh, and let's see who I'm going to pick. Because I don't think this is that type of fight. I think Porter gets stopped somewhere between 8 to 10 rounds. And the beauty of it is that, you know, I have a lot of respect for Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter. But Kenny Porter, he kind of was pushing for this first, right? Oh yes, and we want that Crawford fight. We want that. I want that call. I want that call from Terence Crawford. We want that fight. Well, we're here now. And ironically enough, I think Kenny Porter is going to be the one to stop this fight. I think Kenny Porter is going to be the one to stop this fight by saving his son, as he should. The one that started the fight is going to be the one that stops this fight. That's my prediction. Okay. So stay tuned. I got a, you know, we got some big news. Canelo Alvarez had some big news. I got a big Canelo Alvarez video coming up. Definitely not coming from a Canelo hater standpoint. Definitely not coming from a Canelo fanboy standpoint. You know how I do it. Like, I give Canelo his props. Like, he's a great champion. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. But yeah, this fight this weekend, it's a big fight in name only. After the fight, the same people that saying, oh, Shawn Porter's gonna do this and that, those same people will say Shawn Porter was shot. Errol Spence took it all out of him. Never mind that the guys had fights since Errol Spence, right? Like, Shawn Porter was already shot. Shawn Porter wasn't this, and Shawn Porter wasn't that, and Terence Crawford. The same people, and they're gonna say that until it happens. That fight happens, if your boy can stay sober enough, right? But let's see what happens. And hey, I'm here for it, man. So go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and jab your way in on that like button. Jab your way in and then slip, because you know he's gonna throw it back. The like button, he will throw it back. So jab your way in and then slip and go to his body. Go to the body, the like button, hit that subscribe shit. Bang the bell, because we're gonna keep it coming. Bang the bell, you get notified when I'm on here, you know? Peace.